sabr, syukur. How some in the Malay community in Singapore have abused beautiful Islamic concepts to mask our defeat. For years, we keep hearing we should just have sabr. We are told it is part of Iman, that Allah is with those who have patience. The problem is not that we should have sabr in the face of discrimination. The problem is when sabr is used to justify silence. Because for some, sabr has been reduced to waiting, to being passive, to letting things be. That is not sabr. That is negligence. That is cowardice. That is a betrayal of responsibility. Sabr is not about waiting for a miracle, as if by doing nothing, our condition will somehow improve. Sabr is about perseverance, to speak against oppression, to end discrimination, to stop the attacks on our community, to put in the effort clearly, consistently, and as we do our best, to know that success is with Allah. True sabr is to persevere, and then to wait for Allah's victory. And now we hear we should have syukur. That we should have syukur for the little that we get from the PAP. That the most basic rights to practice Islam are enough. Should we have syukur? Yes. We must always have gratitude to Allah. But should we accept only the basics while being denied our rights? Of course not. Think of a Palestinian child. He gets a scrap of food thrown out of the few trucks that Israel allows in. He eats for another day. Should he feel syukur? Of course. He thanks Allah for the food. But is that enough? Of course not. He should not be content with scraps while his rights, his land, his life are taken. Yes, in Singapore, our condition is not as severe. But the worldview is the same. We have syukur with Allah. But gratitude does not mean silence. It does not mean accepting discrimination. It does not mean refusing to fight for our rights or challenging those who make life difficult for us and our deen. We need to stop abusing Islam to justify our defeat. The Prophet ﷺ was not passive. Yes, he had sabr. Yes, he had syukur. But he was never defeated. Stop using Islam to justify passivity and tokens. It is for us to speak, to stand, to persevere, and to be grateful that Allah gives us another day to keep standing for His deen.